So 7936 East Dublin Court is a property that's very typical for McCurdy as well. What we're finding is our senior transition piece of our business is pretty consistent. Maybe mom has moved to a care facility, maybe dad has passed, maybe we're in a position where we need to downsize because the home is so elaborate. And so these are owners that are just simply ready to be finished with their property ownership responsibilities. And the home has maybe been really well cared for, but at the same time, maybe a little cosmetically dated. And what we're finding is the buyers for that type of a property out there appreciate the fact that they can buy the property, they can see the home in its everyday coat, but then they can go and look at the future and look at what can we do to make it our own. On auction day, we get everybody together, we look out across the yard and you see all the potential people that are interested in this home. Whereas at auction, the buyer appreciates the fact that they can walk in and they can see within seconds that this home's been cared for. This home has had a lot of love, but it's their opportunity to come in and pick their own colors and pick their own selections as far as their remodel and the plans that they have for the particular property. So this was relatively common where the children are part of the decision-making process with mom in when do we make a relocation and where do we go? Because we recognize after so many years that sometimes a home like this can be hard to keep up with. Keeping the landscaping or keeping the home updated or the mechanical elements of a home, it takes money, it takes time, and it takes resources. And so having children spread out across the United States, sometimes that means more work on a local person, but that's always a challenge for the out-of-state folks because they want to be there, but there's obviously physical barriers to being there and helping in those transitions. And so then it's a decision of what's the best way to go? And do we look at putting it on the market and having to get lots of bids to update a property or change cosmetics or put in some new elements associated with the home? Or do we look at selling it in its current state? This home was a prime location. The county appraisal on it was $191,000. The final sales price was $231,000. And so what we're finding is that more and more sellers are realizing that you do not necessarily have to put all the money back into the property, and you're better off selling it in its current state and letting the new buyer decide what they're going to choose and what they're going to do with that particular property. And so auction is a very strong solution, and we're able to capture all the marketplace to compete for that property.